McAdams.
Hi, Karen.
Hello.
And Karen's a really good friend of mine. And I met her for the first time at the Chicago Lakefront 50K. And there she told me that she had run 26 marathons. And I'm not sure if you had done 20. You've done 28 ultras. At that time, I can't remember. I knew
0 ultras.
Yeah, so at that time it was 0. Man, that was a short period of time that you did 28 ultras, and you have attempted 600s.
100 milers.
With one 100-mile finish.
Correct.
And that was the Hennepin 100.
The Hennepin,
Nice.
yep.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
And we should mention on the second stringer here, Crystal's out again.
Oh, yeah.
So she's been sick, so I'm just
Oh.
filling in. So we wish her well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get her back to health.
Yeah, usually Steve is behind the scenes making sure
Oh.
everything's going well, taking notes and making faces at us. So, we wanted to hear about, I mean, this is quite impressive what you've done. So tell us, how you started running. When did this journey begin?
I started when I was 40,
Okay.
and I won a trip through work and wanted to get in shape. Never ran before that. So then I just started running marathons in 2003. Was injured it was a 50-50. It was
Okay.
the Chicago Lakefront 50-50. So I thought I'd go volunteer. And I met this woman, Michelle, who told me she had just won Pumpkin Holler 100. And it just blew my mind. I'd never even heard of it before.
You had never heard of a
100
100-mile
miler.
race?
Never heard of Pumpkin Holler. I mean,
Okay.
And I just started training. And
How did the two of you actually meet then, though? You didn't.
she was
We were both
she was
volunteering.
both volunteering.
Okay.
And then you were, I think it was your first Earth Day.
Oh, so we met, it must have been like 7 years ago then. So,
Yeah, it was my
'cause-
first ultra was your Earth Day 50K.
oh, okay.
Wow.
So like
And
7
was it
hours
my
later.
first- okay.
Or maybe it wasn't your first.
Oh, I don't remember.
Well,
for
it was
sure,
2012.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would have been our
I
first
think
one.
it
Yeah,
was,
it was
yeah.
our first one.
Yeah, so
So you're in one of our first shows, and
yeah, how about that? Yeah, so 2012, and 7.5 hours later, and I was hooked.
That's good. 7.5 hours on
Oh
your
my
first one. How was that? Was that hard?
It was hard. It was hillier than I've trained on. And my husband, who's my best crew ever, he ran it backwards to find me. The plates were all gone. You remember you used to have the plates as the trail markers?
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Anyway.
Was our cutoff must have been shorter at that time? 'cause
Must have
it's
been
8
because I
hours
was
now.
barely there.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that started it.
Oh, that's really super cool. And what got you wanted? So then you went on to do 28 others. So like, what other distances have you done?
So 50 miler is probably my favorite.
Okay.
I mean, I keep attempting the hundreds, and I'm going to start finishing them more.
Yeah.
Like 50 miles, you can feel good and go to dinner. 100
Yeah.
miles, from everything I've learned so far, it's pretty tough to go to dinner. It's more like go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't explain it.
And you've done 100K in between there? Between the 100 miler and the...
I did the Big Butts 100K in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And the year I went, like every big race I signed up for was torrential, monsoon, swamp, like up to your knees. And literally they stopped the race, but I think 2 people continued on, a couple, but everybody did a 50K that year. So my 100K didn't work out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But not because of you.
Right,
Because
right.
of the
No.
conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you tried 600s before you finished.
6 100 milers. So I signed up for the Indiana Trail 100.
Okay.
And I think 2015, I took my cousin with me to be my crew. My husband had something to do with one of the boys. And my fault, I went out without a light, and it was really bad weather. So I was running, and I had to use somebody else's light. And he said he was going to stop at the, and I'm like, stop. oh, can we do that?
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and
That was it. I stopped. So that was
Yeah.
a 50 miler. And then 2016, it was really bad again. The weather was the monsoon and the mud was horrendous. And 50 miles, I came in and my husband was going to pace me for a loop. I think it was 16-mile loop at that time. Now they're 20. And he tried to say, or I said, I'm done. We can't. It was 18 hours for 50 miles. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, you said don't let you stop.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So we went, and by about 57, it was another 2 hours, and we got in the bus and went back.
Yeah.
So, and then Lean Horse 100, I stopped at the halfway mark. I really can't say too much, but I had a distraction on the course, and it wasn't going away. So I decided to stop and go to dinner and go to bed early.
Yeah.
And then Hennepin 100, I signed up for in 2017, and I broke my ribs a week before.
Yeah.
So I deferred to 2018, and then 2018 I finished in 29:39.
So what do you think, what happened different? Did you learn from the ones before, or did you execute it differently?
There was one thing at the Hennepin when I finished it was like around mile 60 or so, it started raining.
Uh-huh.
And at the 70-mile mark, it was really raining. And I could see, for me, 70 miles. So you can imagine I'm like 20 minutes before the cutoff when I finished. But I could just see the people around me like kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is my weather.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's always bad weather. I've had so much, all the big races, it's very rare.
Yeah, really, at the big butts, 100K.
Everything. I mean, it's always like torrential. And like the
Yeah.
weather forecast is great until like the day before. And it's so there was no question I was not finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think my pacers, I had two great pacers. And then my husband came in at 95 or 96. And I could tell at the end they were just kind of hurrying me more than I wanted to be, but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I did run in like the last 3 miles.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
feet
you
were
finished
hurting.
strong.
I did, so I was happy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite a story of how you would keep trying. Like, did you ever think about not going for another 100?
No, I'm gonna finish more.
Okay, but in the process though of getting to the one that you finished, like
Never thought,
every
no.
time the moment
So tired of failing.
you dropped out, you said, "I'm going to do another one. I'll be
Right.
back.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I'll be back."
Yeah. Well, I was actually signed up to do Indiana that year, and something happened. I don't remember what, whether it's vacations and I did not run enough hills. So I did call Michelle. Like, all of a sudden, I just got this brilliant idea. Like, I'm just going to go run a flat one. So I finished for once. Not that that makes any difference, trust me. But, so, yeah, that's just happened. I'm so happy.
Yeah, she finished on a year that was our biggest DNF year ever.
Really? I
It
didn't
was
even know
really,
that.
really low.
Oh, wow.
And that was
I
the
think
weather?
it was like less than 50% of the hundreds
Wow.
finished. And, we got an easy course.
Well, see, but that's what I mean. You think because it's flat,
Yeah.
But the other thing with your race, the one I finished, you had hooked me up with Jana Lee,
Yeah.
my friend Jana Lee from Canada. And honestly, we ran 43 miles together.
Yeah, Jana Lee had messaged me. I didn't know her at all. And she said, I need somebody to run with. And I talked to her for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, she sounds like somebody that would get along with Karyn. So
we did.
I introduced them by
Right.
email, and you guys are still good friends.
We are. Yeah, we ran the parts of the Badger together. But 43 miles, that's a long time to run with
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then how she ran, I needed my pacers. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I was pretty determined that race.
And you had pacers in all the previous fails?
No,
All of those?
no.
Okay, so it's something you
that is
kind of
key.
learned.
That is
Yeah.
key. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Have you paced somebody?
No, but I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's out there. Anybody looking for a pacer?
Yes. Hennepin I loved.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that was we had a guest. He's looking for a fast pacer.
Yeah, that's the problem. That wouldn't be me.
Well, you're not. You're good.
I'm gonna finish.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And so quite a few marathons before that. So
Yeah.
can you compare the two marathon to doing ultra distance, likes and dislikes?
The marathons, I think the ultra is so different. It's just the people. You don't find it's the I mean, people will do anything for you on the trail. Anything to boost you up, say, oh, no, you're doing great. Oh, they turn around and go, oh, my God, get her out of here, right?
Yeah.
But marathons, you don't have that connection with people. At least that's what I found. They're either really fast or it's the road races versus the trail. Maybe it's the
Crystal
dirt.
was saying that in her podcast that she thought that the community was the big difference when she moved from road running to trail running and distance running and ultra running.
Right. Yeah, I think, first of all, I'm a back of the packer in a marathon for sure, and I'm still a back of the packer in the ultras, but it's just a different group of people, I think.
Will you do any more marathons, or are you?
I like the trail marathons.
Yeah.
But I really haven't. I don't have any inclination to run. Like my son ran his first marathon in Chicago.
I saw that.
That was exciting for me. But no, I like the trail.
Did you have anything to do with him?
Oh my
running that
gosh, yes,
marathon?
I was his coach.
Oh, good. I was going to
Wow.
ask. Good.
Let's hear about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's his story then? What was he doing before he ran a marathon?
Oh, he ran a couple he did a couple Spartans, and then that was his goal, was to finish a marathon. So proud mom.
He's been watching mom do it
Yeah,
for
I guess.
a while.
Dragged around would be more like it, right?
And you
Yeah.
mentioned in your post, third generation marathoner in your
My
family.
mom finished the Chicago Marathon, and then myself, and then my son.
Oh,
So
that's neat.
thank you for noticing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's done a couple half marathons. It was a big deal for her because she
It is
never
a
thought
big
she
deal.
would do a half marathon. And
Oh, for sure.
and I was just, she's 20 some years old, but I felt like I was watching her when she was 8 years old,
I know.
finishing the race. So
It's a lot of persistence,
yeah,
training.
And so you coached him too. Tell
I
us
did.
about your coachings.
Well, I created a plan for him.
Yeah.
And then I put him into, like, there's an app, Final Surge, so that every time he finished his run, I would get, I could see his run and what happened, and I could say, oh, what's going on. So yeah, talk to him a lot and make sure everything's okay.
And where does he live at?
Hanover Park.
And so you were able to do this like remotely, or
Did
you
it all
see him?
remotely,
Yeah.
and then my goal was to do one long run with him, just because long runs are hard.
Yeah.
So we did one, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I felt good.
Is he ready to sign up for another one?
He did try for Chicago again, but he didn't get in. So I don't think he cares either way. But he did.
Well,
He didn't tell me.
He needs to come hang out at the aid station with us
Yeah,
and do
he
100.
Right. Well, he did at the Indiana Trail. The one he did come to pace me in the middle of the night. He's good in staying awake all night. So
Yeah.
we'll get him out there.
Yeah.
I think he's got the beginnings of it.
Yeah. That's really cool.
that's
Thank
a great
you.
story.
Thank you. Yeah.
And have you done some other coaching?
I have. I've been a running coach since 2013. I've helped Girls on the Run.
Oh wow.
You're familiar with that.
Yeah,
I
with the
know you
Girls
are.
on the Run.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you could tell us a
God.
little bit about that though.
So
some of our audience.
rewarding. Well, I helped out in Chicago at St. Damon's, and I had two groups of girls, two different times. The young ones, I think it was like 1st through 4th, and then I had the 5th through 8th grade girls. And a funny story is, they get out of school and then they just talk, right? And it's like, you guys, we got to run. So there's a tennis court, and I thought, how can I get these girls to run? So I happened to get like an Oriental Trading Company magazine, and they had all these little bracelets, like you're great, you're amazing, you know, all these really great. So I thought, I'm going to get a box. I had like 500. And I said, I have a surprise for you. I said, every time you make it one loop around, you get a bracelet. So by the time we got to the Chicago race, it was a 5K they trained for right on the lakefront. You could tell my girls had arms of bracelets.
Oh,
it was
so
amazing.
Fun.
Yeah.
I could use a bracelet.
Yeah, write that down.
I know. Yeah,
right. Going on the online
and the funny
store
thing
here.
there, it was pouring for their race, right? Like it just
yeah,
follows me. So, they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, we're just going to run. It's okay.
Well, you should do Kettle then, because Kettle's always got rain.
Right. Well, I've done the 38 miler 3 times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. How long ago was that you were doing Girls on the Run?
That was a while. That was, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago.
You had any follow-up with any of those girls? You ever see them anywhere?
You know, a lot of them, some of them didn't even have running shoes. So I thought it would be really cool. Like I have all these, marathon things. So I brought everything I had in a box, and they were just amazed. So then I brought shoes, and whoever needed shoes, and but no, I didn't. The school wasn't, I don't think, real keen on that. The program.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed about Girls on the Run as a coach is, like, I looked at it as our running club. I'm like, a lot of the adults could learn from the lessons that they teach.
The lessons were amazing.
They are really, it's a great program.
Well, a funny thing happened. The little boys, when I had the 1st through 4th graders, the little boys wanted their group. So they started a boys running. So it just grew,
Yeah.
So many good things come from that.
That's great. And do you coach other people then?
I've had runners, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's mostly remotely.
Okay.
I haven't really met anybody to run with or anything like that. I've personally had a lot of running coaches.
Oh, yeah, I 100% believe in running coaches.
Oh, yeah. I mean, since I started with the marathons, actually,
Yeah, when you pay somebody to tell you what to do, you do it.
Yeah, it really does help. And whether it's nutrition, obviously I'm not a nutritionist, but, there's common sense, things like that.
So tell us a little bit about your philosophy and how you...
Well, so I'm a business coach during the day also, and also a real estate agent. And so my philosophy is pretty much the same, would be, what is your goal? Just like with me, I'm talking to Juan downstairs, and he's the winner of all these races, right?
Yeah, Juan Moran.
Right. So it's like, that's, that would never be me. So if I'm going to have somebody coach me, they have to, how are they going to get me to keep going?
Yeah.
So it's like, what's your goal? What's your lifestyle? What's your schedule? It's not impossible. If you have to do a 20-mile run on the weekend, you may have to get up early. Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to make those changes, maybe that's not the right distance to start with.
Yeah.
So more one-on-one, and, run your own race.
Yeah.
And run your own training. You might be surprised at what you can accomplish. It's more about the consistency rather than, I have to get this in, I have to get that in. With any coaching client that I've already coached, there's always things that come up.
Yeah.
You go on a vacation for a week, they have a treadmill, but who's going to get on a treadmill when you're in Cancun?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For a 20-mile run.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you will, but maybe you can do 10 miles. It's not all or nothing. I think that's another good thing to remember. Just get your shoes on, see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you have besides your son, do you have a favorite memory of coaching an athlete? Are you really kind of...
I got a lot out of it with my son, of course, but the girls on the run, even though they were little, I mean, I really feel like I made a difference. It's kind of a life lesson. Maybe not with the young ones, but they liked it. But with the 5th through 8th graders, I mean, they were starting to deal with things, whether it was boys or they didn't like their mom, or the different things. And it was like, you know what? You can always go for a small run. Just think a little. I think some people that have run forever or a long time, they do their best thinking when they run.
Yeah.
You come back and you feel better.
Do you run with anybody?
I run a lot by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your dog?
2 Dobermans.
Yeah.
Yeah, one was in a running accident with me. He stepped on a bottle, so that cut his running career a little short. And then my second Doberman went blind, so it's a little bit harder for her, but no, not really.
Yeah.
For short ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any races? What race do you have coming up next?
So I'm a little bit, usually I have them closer, but Glacial Esker 40 in April. And then the Badger in August. And then what's the Indiana Trail 100 in October. And I'm on the wait list for a big race.
Oh, which big race?
Tahoe 200.
Oh, wow. So you're going to skip.
We're going to have her back.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm number 70 on the wait list, but I've moved up 20 in about 3 weeks. So.
Oh, wow. So. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. That's great.
So that'll keep me running.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you had somebody on recently about the Bigfoot 200.
Yes.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've only been on that wait list for 3 weeks, and it's already,
you know what?
Just in the last 3 weeks.
Probably. I'd say it seems sporadic, so I don't know how they do it. But I don't know. We'll see.
I think you're gonna get in.
Yeah, I do too. Look at hope my crew's ready.
Yeah, we're wishing for a lot of other people to not be ready for it.
Yeah.
To get you in.
Well, you know how it is with all the races. Things change, so.
Right. Yeah, and that's a doozy, right? So you got to really be feeling like you can do it, and not take a spot from somebody, right? If you're not.
You don't show up. If
no,
like,
no. Yeah.
How do you plan to train? So you got quite a schedule. For
I
the
do.
Year, so that's part of your training. Is there anything? There's going to be some pretty big hills there.
Right. Well, I have a brand new treadmill. To train on my hills, so that's good. And a couple different places around me. Probably come up to Veterans Acres. Yeah, that would be helpful.
You can come here to the trailhead. It's just 1.5 miles down the road from us.
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Will you be writing out your own schedule?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, I always, I have input, of course, but no, I have a coach.
Yeah. Has it been the same coach for a long time? Do you?
You know what? I've changed a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being a coach myself, it's tough.
Yeah.
I know what I need.
Yeah.
And it's usually a lot of accountability and the ability to have communication.
So for somebody listening that hasn't ever had a coach, can you kind of spell out what that looks like?
So when you have a running coach, usually there's a questionnaire all about your past history. Most importantly is what you've been running like the past 2 or 3 weeks, nutrition, any injuries, anything like that. And then make your plan. They'll usually make your plan maybe for only the first 2 weeks, see how you do.
Do you include like strength work and stuff in there?
Yep, I do include strength work, and something I've recently done from my coaches is I've been running with a weighted vest.
Okay.
Oh.
Have you ever done that?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Jensen.
So tell me about that. What's the reasoning behind that, and what's the why?
Strength. The difference, boy, you take that vest off, it feels really good. It's like, whoa, I can move.
Then it makes it easier to run.
Yeah, it's
obviously probably different varying weights, right? With that.
Yeah, I haven't varied a whole lot. 15 is what I usually do.
Okay.
But I would hope to get up to 20. But yeah, so hiking up and down a hill with a weighted vest, especially for 100, is good. So maybe one day a week. It would all depend, on what they've been doing, or incorporate that slowly.
Yeah.
You sound like you're giving that a thumbs up, right?
Yeah.
What kind of gains are you seeing with that? It's
a little bit of speed.
So do you do speed work? And so that's
not one
like
of my
a different
favorites.
kind of speed work. I actually love speed work.
Yeah.
I
You
hate
always
it.
did.
I know I hate it, but I love it. I love being done.
Right. Yeah.
What kind of speed? Tell us about your speed work.
Well,
How would you write a program for speed work?
Well, with one of my coaches, she had me do strides after like 2 or 3 workouts every single week.
Okay.
That made an amazing difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was amazed at the difference.
So I don't think everybody will know what strides is. We know. We were just talking about it the other day.
Yeah. So it's just run as fast as you can for a short distance, and then take a break, and
So short distance is in 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
Right. I was doing like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, and then maybe 4 of them, maybe 6 of them.
Okay.
But I saw an amazing difference. I thought my watch was broke.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Like I would tell Kurt, I'm like, my watch is definitely broke. There's no way.
Because you would get back from a run and your pace was faster than it had ever been.
Way faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I saw big improvements with that.
Yeah, Steve actually did strides over the
Yeah,
summer.
see, I never did any serious running till maybe about 5 years ago. And so I've had no training like before that. And so
You need a coach.
yeah, I do. Yeah. I've been kind of blue collaring it my whole life. I just kind of, or my whole running time here, last 5 years. And, but this past summer, a friend of mine's being trained by Camille Haran, and she's got some, she does the same thing, strides twice a week. And we were just doing 6 times. I was just amazed, like you said, about how much gain I was seeing doing so little of speed work.
One thing.
And we would do 6 strides after 2 runs.
Right.
And I forget like the distance, 0.06. Like it was a weird distance.
Right.
Yeah.
and then, but we were getting faster.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I was
it
running them like in
amazing.
24 seconds. And then by the end of the summer, we were under 20 seconds on these strides. We weren't supposed to be racing them, but we ended up racing them because we were getting so much better at them.
Yeah.
And that
It's
was, so it was like
amazing.
12 strides a week, and we were seeing gains.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, training works.
yeah.
So I think it is like when you have specific training, it's not just going for your run. You know, so say you have 35 miles to run that week. It's just not every day doing the same old run. You know, it's being specific, like doing the strides, doing the weighted vest. You know, if it's for 100, doing the power hiking. That was huge for me.
And you were telling me about between those workouts of speed works, you need to do the recovery.
Yeah, you
Or
need
you
to
kinda
have a
raced it.
recovery run.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to learn the science behind all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can kind of see where I'm at. I'm just kind of learning
Right.
the particulars about what people have been telling me. So
Yeah. Yeah, he's taking classes or ready to take some classes
Yeah?
on it as well.
Good. The RCA or?
oh, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, we did look at
Yeah.
that. That's tough to get in, though. They fill
in
fast.
our area.
Is that where you? How did you
and
get
I
trained?
did together.
Oh yeah, that's right. You always say that. And I always. Oh yeah, that's right. We sat by each other.
We did. We made plans together.
Yeah.
Training plans. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So same exact training, huh?
Yep.
Coaching training.
Yeah,
And we had the same coach for a while too. I
We
learned a
did.
lot from that coach.
I did too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It definitely helped with the RRCA
Right.
training.
Right.
Have you had any other training since then, or just your own personal
The
experience?
ultimate endurance. I've looked into that. I'm not done with it though.
Okay.
Figured it would help for hundreds. Anything to finish the 100.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're addicted
That's
to
my
now.
goal. Yes.
Even though you said you like 50s the best, but
Well, 50s I think are fairly easy.
yeah,
Honestly, I mean, I have that. I want to be able to think the hundreds are.
I think
little
I was
bit
at
easier.
your first 50. Was it
You
Des Plaines?
were.
Yeah.
The Des Plaines River
Yeah,
Trail.
you were really nervous about
Oh my
finishing
gosh,
that.
I felt like $1 million at the end.
Yeah,
I saw you at 43.
yeah,
I remember.
yeah.
I know Michelle often says that training for the great long distances is pretty similar to training for a marathon. Do you feel that's the same type of thing?
Yeah.
Like your
'Cause of
weekly training.
consistency.
Yeah, I think no matter what the race is, you know, to everybody it's different. You know, if you go for a 13-mile run at mile 10, you're starting to go, oh, God, you know. Same thing with the 50, same 100, a lot different, but a lot earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be consistent on all of them, and you just have to believe training works.
That's the winner right there, is being consistent, even when you don't want to do it. Even if you don't do it all.
Yeah.
Just get out there. Have your shoes ready. Have your everything ready. Your fuel, your nutrition.
What kind of nutrition do you do while you're running?
Well, I've tried a couple different things, but being keto really helped me.
Oh, I didn't
saw
know.
a huge difference with that. So.
And how does the keto work exactly?
It's all about how your body burns fat.
Okay.
And it takes a while, but once you are keto, I mean, I told Kurt I couldn't believe how much better I felt, and you're faster.
So what's that diet like then?
Low carb.
So
Hard.
What are you eating? Like
well, I'm not real good at it yet. I mean, I was really good for a while, but boy, you fall off a little.
I bet. Yeah.
It's hard to get back on. We are now, though.
During the race, do you still eat keto?
Try to for as long as possible.
And
like bacon.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Try not to eat processed foods. So a lot of times we bring everything. I think we brought all our own food for Hennepin.
Okay.
Another good thing.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of food.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was amazing. But if you eat the food you're used to, and it's not packaged, you'll do better.
Yeah, I've always
better
brought.
Nutrition.
I mean, races they supply great food, but I've always brought all my own food because it's the preparing at home.
Right.
It's what I'm used to having on my training run. I know it's in my bag when I'm getting there, and I find that really important,
especially for the longer ones.
I always admired people that could just show up at the aid station and go, "Oh, what do you guys have?" and then just eat whatever.
Right.
I'm like, I was like afraid to try that.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
I just completed recently my first 50 miler, so that's where I'm
Congratulations.
at. Congratulations. Yeah,
Which one?
I did Dead Horse out in Moab, Utah.
Wow. That's
And,
hard.
And I don't do the keto diet, but I loved bacon on that race. That was
see, that's...
And I do spy a little bit on the aid stations, one of those people you probably hate that can take in whatever, but it's just whatever I feel like eating.
Yeah.
And you know how that you look at the whole smorgasbord, and for some reason the bacon, I don't eat bacon normally. But
the first couple always look good. But after about 16, 18 hours, the aid stations, it's hard for them to look good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have stuff you brought from home sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure 100 miler's another layer that I'll have to learn about, managing nutrition.
Yeah, we need to get Streaker into
Hennepin 100.
Well, I might have him working there, so I think I'm going to need him.
Okay, forget that.
Yeah, someday, though.
Cattle.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to manage the sleep part of it, because whenever I get really tired, and whenever you bonk or wherever at, a marathon or whatever, it's sleep that I want. Like I could lay down in the fetal position, take one of these dirt naps that Ryan talks about. So, so I don't know how you manage that over that time.
I didn't even think about it during the Hennepin.
So you didn't get tired?
I think I got more tired like doing the Kettle Moraine 38 miler.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not really. I mean, I'm tired, yes, but
Right.
not like falling asleep. Like
Okay.
I did one recently, the Tunnel Hill, and I was running and I saw this guy, and I thought he was looking at his phone, and then I realized like he's just standing there sleeping.
Oh wow!
I'm like, hello. Yeah, so he came with me for a while, like a couple miles, and then he leaned against the pole and fell asleep.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but so not that tired, not at all.
Have you ever had any hallucinations?
A little bit of kettle.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We want to hear
out
about
at Rice
those.
Lake. Oh my gosh, the poison ivy leaves. They're
Okay.
so big. Yeah, I got a little funky out there. And then with the rocks going to Rice Lake,
Okay.
There's a lot of eyes, and yeah, it's like I'm not looking anywhere. I'm looking right at the trail.
Yeah, that's a rocky.
Yeah,
rough
it's a
section,
little.
yeah.
Yeah, and then also at the kettle, going through. I was actually going to pace another runner, Jim Gray. You might know him.
Yeah.
And he decided not to continue on. So I have a late start for the 38 miler.
Okay.
So I was like by myself and running through the fields where all the weeds were like up to here, and there's just this little single track, and I didn't like that. I got to what is the big aid station there?
Highway 12.
Highway 12.
Yep.
I got to Highway 12. I was like, I don't know. So yeah.
It was on the way back
creepy.
or the way out?
Way out.
Or the way out, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you still had
Yeah.
Rice Lake to run out
Oh
to.
yeah. So
And what was the weather like during that
it wasn't
night
bad.
run? Not bad.
No,
Okay.
it was nice. Yeah.
You've had some doozies there, the weather.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
Yeah,
before.
Kettle
Well,
is
it always
known
seems like
for-
it rains.
Yeah.
But at that time, it wasn't raining yet. Usually, sometime in the morning, it'll rain.
Well, the DNR has asked us to change to a different weekend this year, so it's the weekend after. And I noticed that the weekend after this year was really cool and nice and not raining. So let's see if that happens,
Fingers
or maybe
crossed,
the
yeah.
the rain's just going to follow us to Kettle.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
If you come, it will.
There you go. It will rain for sure. But I have never had really bad hallucinations. I think I see things, though, sometimes
Yeah,
because I get kind of scared.
yeah.
And those were in the hundreds, not in a shorter distance.
No,
yeah.
it was a 38 miler,
Oh, yeah,
but it was
okay.
at
Yeah, the
night,
fun
though.
run.
But see, you start at,
Yeah.
I think I started at 7. So it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. You're like, why am I so tired? Well, you didn't go to bed.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so you were
Right.
up all day.
Right, up all
Yeah.
day and then all night.
Did you
Yeah.
crew for anybody during the day or follow people from aid stations?
I did crew. I don't even know who he was, but I ran with. They lost their lights, and he was pretty fast, so it was kind of a different thing for me. But I was able to hang in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he finished early, under 24.
Oh, wow.
So that was fun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really fast, the Kettle
was
course.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have your headlamp game down now, though? You mentioned
Oh
you
yeah.
didn't have one.
Yeah,
so.
I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
In fact, when I did the Badger and I was afraid of that tunnel, so I went and got I think it's Coachella.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm lit up like like you think I'm a car coming at you now.
Uh-huh.
We were like, what's the car? Because we were at the Badger aid station. What's that car coming down
Yeah,
the trail?
I'll just hear it. Yeah, when I turn up, you're like, wow, I love the lights. And it's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's a neat tunnel.
Yeah, I was,
It,
yeah, the lights worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to do that one in the summertime for a training run, that little route there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
that would be
cool.
good.
It's always cool in there.
Yeah, it was pretty hot that day.
So for our listeners, what would give them a suggestion of your favorite place in the Chicagoland area to go run?
To go run?
Yep.
Favorite place? Well, Veterans Acres I like.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice and hilly, and if you go with somebody that knows the trail. I used to
So
like
Veterans Acres and Crystal Lake here.
Here you
so
go.
We can show you
How
around.
close,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like the lakefront, except all that concrete is pretty tough on me now. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just recently introduced to that park, and I just couldn't believe that it was, not being from here, you think of this as Chicago, like everything's Chicago.
right.
And you're just kind of surprised that there's something so natural in an urban
oh
area.
my God, it's beautiful.
And yeah, I mean, you run in through pines.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and like you said, different terrain, and there's single track and double wide, and it's a pretty large area.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
And
the
then-
people are very nice. If you don't know, I'm from Wisconsin.
Oh,
And so people from Wisconsin don't often think well of people from Illinois. If you haven't heard
kidding.
that before, there's some words
We don't
they
serve
say.
them enough beer.
And, and I honestly, I'm from Illinois originally, so I honestly don't feel that way. But you do have that impression of Chicago people not being as folksy as Wisconsin people.
yeah.
But the people at Veterans Acres are so nice. Like
Yeah,
they're
the mud group
always
is out there, and
yeah. it's
not just the people I ran with. Like
Yeah.
you see even like passing people, and everybody says hi, and yeah, so it breaks the stereotype. You know?
yeah. And the Kettle Marine course.
oh my
I mean,
gosh,
I
yeah.
don't think you can beat that.
Yeah,
That is beautiful.
it is. It's. Yeah, those are my two. You echo me. Those are
Really?
my two favorites.
Oh yeah, the Kettle Marine is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, you really feel like you're in a forest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some, I actually like that it's very runnable. A lot of it. Some of it is definite hikes, but there's some like nice soft. You can just crank it out in some areas, and it just feels kind of good.
Under the pines.
Yep.
Definitely.
That's the best running, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cushioned in the pines.
Yep.
Yes.
And then our listeners had some questions.
Okay.
And so they're looking for the best advice for a new runner.
For a new runner would be to, in my opinion, would be to pick a race.
Okay.
Any kind of a race, and then create a plan to finish the race.
So you start with the goal first.
Yeah, I would start with the goal.
And then you do the intake questions after that. You said, like, then you'll ask the questions about their background.
Right,
and see if
because then you have a goal, something to work for. It's like, okay, now I want to do this. Like, I don't think since I started running, I've ever finished a race and not had at least a couple already paid for.
Put the money down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that would, so when I'm running this race, I'm already done with this race. I'm already focused on, if I don't do this one well, I'm really going to be in trouble for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you almost use it as a training run.
Right.
Yeah.
By the time you do start to run it. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's good advice because if you have a goal to look forward to, it's going to help you get out the door, especially if it scares you.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, it's been great.
You.
Do you have
another nice person from Illinois.
Yeah.
There you go. No, thank you so much. This was an honor. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it too.
Especially since you're the one who got me into this, Michelle.
That's great.
Yeah, well,
I think she's done that for a lot of people. Their races.
Yeah. And I saw the picture downstairs. Isn't that the one from Pumpkin Holler?
No, that's actually from the one with the alligator skull that's right behind you there.
Oh, geez.
So that was for Dances with Dirt Green Swamp 50-mile race. So.
Yeah, we're glad you're spying the pictures, and
I
hope a lot of people come by. Michelle's putting in some investment, putting up some really good photos.
Looks great. Thank you so much.
Races, so.
Yeah, thanks. Hope to see you around more often.
Thank you. You will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.